What's up, everybody? Welcome to the very, very first episode of our show, the Opps SportsCast. We're so grateful to have you guys joining us today. I'm your host, your boy Dave in the Cut. And on today's episode, we're going to be discussing the Luka Doncic, Anthony Davis trade, Super Bowl 59 down in Nolans. Nolans, baby, Nolans. Coach Prime is in the news. And the polo ponies, which is polo ponies, huh, Josh?
Interesting topic. Interesting
Yeah.
topic.
All right. Well, we'll see, man. We'll see. All
Great
right. Let me
perspective.
introduce my crew. Go ahead, fellas. Who we got?
It's your boy Big
I'm
Z.
I'm Josh Tuminelli here with you live and direct.
Chris Peasy in the building, baby. Representing. Let's go.
All right. What's up, Peasy? Peasy rocking the Knicks. Let's go, baby.
I love how his background blur kind of censored that Knicks jersey.
Oh, we're gonna
I
have to
did
fix that,
peep that
man.
a
I
little
got your
bit.
It was
back.
it was very
We're gonna
Yeah,
be
appropriate.
real
speaking on
close.
the Knicks
Real
tonight,
close.
man. It ain't
Real
gonna happen.
close.
I should have wore my Pete Alonso jersey for obvious reasons.
Oh
My
Look at
man
Zeke
just went
flexing his
somewhere.
Braves jersey. Look at Zeke.
I was just trying to sit up because if I get too comfortable, I might fall asleep on y'all. So
Oh, snap.
anyway, man.
it's
Let me
past my
start off,
bedtime.
man. Let me give a shout out to my brothers over at Opposition Radio. Opposition Radio is a 24-hour streaming radio station. They play Christian hip hop, EDM, R&B, reggae, Latin, pop. Make sure you go check them out. Got some hot artists in rotation over there. You can check them out at theopsradio.live. You can use any internet browser. Just type in theopsradio.live and just enjoy it, man. It's some good music over there. I'm one of the owners, so I'm gonna
Yes,
speak
sir.
highly.
Big dog.
So
Yes,
shout out to
sir.
my dogs over there at Opposition Radio, man.
Dope.
All right, so Peasy, tell us about this week's sponsor, man.
So we appreciate our sponsor, Elevated Creations ROC LLC, Rochester, New York's premier women-owned balloon and event decor specialist. Guys, whether you're planning an office party, intimate birthday celebration, or luxurious wedding, Elevated Creations ROC LLC will transform your vision into unforgettable memories. Stunning balloon arrangements, custom centerpieces, welcome signs, and seating charts, they do it all. Elevated Creations ROC LLC is here to make your event exceptional, creating moments that wow your guests and make your special day truly extraordinary. So if you want to transform your event from ordinary to extraordinary, visit their website at elevatedcreationsroc.com for more information. Elevated Creations. We were created to create.
There you go.
Dope.
Created
Hey,
to
by the way,
create.
I've been to some events with Elevated. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Dave, but amazing decor. They do it up. They do it up.
No doubt. So make sure you check them out. All right, fellas, we ready to get into this?
Yes,
Let's
sir.
do it.
Born ready.
We ready to get into this. All right. All right, so this is how this thing works. All right. So we bring up a topic and then we use the show of fingers to show either agreement or disagreement on the topic. All right. With 5 being in agreement and 1 disagreement. All right. You can fall anywhere in between based on your level of angst. 5 is agreement, 1 is disagreement. All right.
All right.
Good with
No
it?
doubt.
Everybody good?
Yes, sir.
All right, straight. Let's get into it, man. What's our first topic here? Ooh, boy.
Mm,
The Luka Doncic, Anthony Davis trade gives NBA players validation when they request trades and are labeled as unloyal to their franchises. All right, fellas, you ready? Here we go. Count of 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, I got 3. Josh has 4.
I
Zeke's
got a
got
4.
4. Peasy's got 2. Let's start with Zeke.
All right, so I gave it a 4. Um, but my 4 is more on the Anthony Davis end than the Luka Doncic end.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because Anthony Davis was still under contract. Anthony Davis was not expecting to be traded. Um, I think the only person who might have known about this trade was LeBron and Jeannie Buss
Mm.
and Mark Cuban.
We know
Tho-
why Jeannie
those
knew.
might those might be the only three people. Um, I know it sucks for Luca because he probably got blindsided, but I don't see this as the Mavericks being unloyal to him. I read an article that said they were concerned about his conditioning and his diet, and he's been injured lately, and he's looking at a 345, I think a $345 million contract for the Supermax.
Mm.
If Mark Cuban doesn't want to pay that money, send him somewhere where he can get paid. He might not get that Supermax, that exact deal, but there are scenarios where he'd actually make more money than that Supermax. And if Mark
Yeah,
Cuban doesn't want to
but
pay
Zeke,
that,
isn't Mark Cuban out of the picture now? He's
Yeah, he
not the
sold
majority
most of the
owner
business.
anymore.
see, I've been out of the loop. I'm gonna be honest with you. When I think Dallas Mavericks, I think Mark Cuban. But whoever the owner is, whoever's cutting that check, whether it's Mark Cuban or not,
Yeah.
if they don't feel comfortable paying him that Supermax contract, then I don't see a problem with them saying, you know what, we're gonna move on. Let's see what we can get for the. We hear it all the time. Like we wanted the Angels to do it with Shohei. We see what happened with that. I mean, they held on to him thinking they were going to be able to sign him. Everybody who had any common sense was saying trade him. Look at the haul that you can get. They said we're going to keep him. He went to Los Angeles to cross town to play with the Dodgers, and they ended up with nothing.
Mm.
So I don't see it as a problem where if you don't think you're going to be able to pay the player what he's worth, don't try to lowball him. Just send him somewhere where he can get that money, and you get some assets back to build around. So, I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna be building around Anthony Davis, but
Nah, you ain't
Mm.
building nothing around him except some hospital beds,
you better build a igloo around him,
a
keep him
MASH
protected.
unit. Josh, jump in there, man. What you got,
Get in
man?
there,
Eye,
Josh.
Josh, you on the floor, bro.
eyebrow waxing business. Uh, but
They gotta go.
so I gave it a 4 as well, and I kind of am along the same lines with Zeke. You know, I'm looking at it from the end of Anthony Davis. And every time that I watched a Lakers game, every time that I even saw Davis on the court, he gave it his all, and he looked like he enjoyed playing for the franchise. And from what I understand in reports, he wasn't expecting it. I mean, even Luka said it himself; he wasn't expecting it. But at the end of the day, um, does it give NBA players validation? Uh, I would say
It's
it's tough
situational.
to say this, right? It's the situation exactly. So yes, I believe it does validate it based on the situation. But for me, I just was more so I didn't see it coming, and to me, not to make this conspiracy theory or not, but LeBron is just trying to find ways to win himself another championship, and he needs Luka to do that. So I'm gonna
Oh,
just shut
come
up.
on. You think
I'm gonna just shut up.
you think Brian was in on it?
I
Brian
don't
was
Well,
think.
willing to
not
deal with
only that, but they want to
I don't.
make sure that when Brown leaves, the Lakers have a superstar. You want
Absolutely.
your
Absolutely.
superstar, you want your superstars of the league on marquee teams.
Yeah, man,
As
but
Most
nice
how
as
much of a
Dallas
superstar
is,
are
you
they gonna
want a
have
superstar.
if Luca is like and throwing down Milwaukee's best and heaters? You know what I'm saying? Smoking like mad heaters and at halftime. What are they? Come on, man.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, at the same time, you got to look at it. Doncic right now is one of the marquee players, as Zeke is pointing out, and not only that, but he's even said it in a lot of the press conferences. Like he grew up, uh, you know, looking up to guys like LeBron, especially, and he thought like playing alongside with LeBron could help him get him to that next level. And who best to do it but the current face of the league right now who can show him a few things. I mean, it's not like he's going to do it with his son. So he's got to do it with somebody he can invest into.
So you
All
think he's
right.
going to change like his diet and stuff? You think he'll pick up good habits from LeBron?
I think so. I believe so.
Peasy, what you got, man?
Yeah, I don't know about the question is whether they're validated in, you know, that their trades would be, I guess, makes them feel like they're being unloyal. But when I think about it, I can't get with that. Especially, I mean, the point of view that you guys took it from was Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of like the what is it, the pot calling the kettle black. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
this is the same Anthony Davis that whined and fussed his way out of New Orleans, right?
He did.
That's how we got there.
How many
So
years did he
he
play
knows the
there, though?
rules of
Okay, but
engagement.
he was there, and they did nothing to build around him.
Yeah,
Like,
he
Right.
drafted.
he wasted some prime years in New Orleans, and they didn't
Right.
support him at all.
Okay,
Right.
but now we get to
And
the
then they
heart of the
go and
question.
draft. Then they go and draft. Oh boy.
Well, we get to
Zion.
the heart of the question. What loyalty do players owe their teams and teams owe their players, right? And so that's I gave it a two. And the reason I just I don't think that loyalty is owed, especially the team to the player, because that's the very nature of the sports. The loyalty is the money, and they guarantee that money. Beyond that, I don't think that there's any loyalty owed. Like,
Hmm.
when you think about it, like, and this is probably not this is probably gonna not be a popular take, but I owe loyalty to my country, right? In the sense that um if I was to be a spy and trade secrets, I could go to jail, right? But how much loyalty does the country essentially owe to me, right? If I
Hmm.
don't like what they're doing, I'm just one peg in the crowd. You know what I mean? And so, like, to me, it's like I think the team owes that loyalty to their fans, not to their players. If they're in a position to make their team better, I think the loyalty is to the fans. They have to try to honor that. They're the ones paying for the whole shebang, right? And so, like, nah, like Anthony Davis knows the rules of engagement more so than anybody. But when we're talking about Luka Doncic now, I mean, what kind of loyalty did he show to his franchise if he's not fulfilling what is expected of him when he's given that kind of money? You got to put in the work. He's not putting in the work. So,
Well, hold on a second. I disagree with that, man. I'm about to jump in here. All right. I gave it a 3. I'm in the middle. I ain't mean to cut you off, Chris, but Luka Doncic has been a beast for his team. All right.
Yes.
Now, he may not be the poster child for, for the
Health and
best
fitness.
physique or whatever, but was it not him game 7? Who was it that they were playing game 7 and they were trolling him? Wasn't it the Phoenix Suns? Wasn't it the Phoenix Suns that were like
Mm.
yeah,
they huh?
Devin Booker getting up all in his face.
Yeah. And then what did he do in game 7? All he did
Cook.
was come out and carry his team, right? It's all he
Yeah.
did, man, is come out and carry his team. So I gave it a 3 because again, this is about the validation, um, them being validated when they want to request a trade, as opposed to the the owner GM slashes putting them out there and trading them away whenever they feel like it. So my feeling on this, you know, NBA is guaranteed money.
Hmm.
It was they negotiated that. It was through the contract, through the CBA collective. They did it through the collective
Yeah. Yep.
bargaining. MLB, their money's guaranteed. NFL, their money's not guaranteed. I feel like NFL players, I feel like they don't owe their owners anything. They don't owe the GMs anything. because their GMs will sign them to a $200 million deal and give them $20 million signing bonus, and like $70 million of that will be guaranteed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, they can let them go whenever they want. They just have to give them the guaranteed money, which is table scraps compared to the contract that they signed. I feel like baseball players and NBA players, they don't have a leg really to stand on when it comes to that. You sign a contract, whether they want to keep you or not, that's up to them. But you sign a contract and your money is guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all remember was it Jason Williams when he played for the Nets?
Mm-hmm.
With this whole situation with the shotgun, right? Where he shot
Yeah.
the dude died. They still had to pay that dude, man.
Right.
Of course.
They
Yeah.
still had it. That money was guaranteed. And like, I mean, the money was loyal. You know what I'm saying?
Dang, I
It's like
forgot
Yeah.
about that
when
dude.
you sign deals like that with guaranteed money, don't look at the owner and don't look at the GM for loyalty. Look at
Yeah.
the zeros on your paycheck. That's your loyalty right there.
But
But Dave,
isn't
there
both of
are
them?
some guaranteed monies in the NFL, right? I mean, like look at the whole Deshaun Watson trade. Texans were paying for him up front, and then they took on the Browns took on a bulk of that money as well when they
They
dealt the
did.
trade.
And
Right.
they
So
shouldn't
like
have.
guaranteed money happens, I think, in all of the sports. It all depends on the player. It all depends on who they're investing into. To me, I look at the loyalty aspect as like, all right, if I'm paying you money and I'm giving you incentives, I'm giving you bonuses, I'm giving you a reason to ball out and to put back into this franchise,
Yeah.
I don't care if the money's guaranteed up front or if it's in incentives later on. I'm expecting you to invest back into me the amount that I'm willing to invest into you.
Yeah.
Well,
I
I like the fact that you mentioned the incentives though, because we've seen time and time again where players are close to getting that incentive bonus, and all of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden they get pulled off the field.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The snap count goes down, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
like
Yep.
the player is healthy, but they're sitting in the second half.
Healthy scratches. Yep.
Yeah,
We saw it in
I mean,
reverse too, though. Mike
the
Evans.
owners
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they like to play games with the players. I'm not
There's
gonna
no
go
doubt.
as far as Dennis Schroeder said about they feel like slaves or whatever, but um,
Bro, slaves,
Especially at the
This
trade
dude's a clown.
deadline.
I
slaves,
mean,
really?
in Black History Month of all
That's what
times,
we
he wants to
doing?
bring
Yeah,
that up.
of course.
Listen, man,
Um,
Of course.
I would be remiss if I didn't bring this up. Dennis Schroeder, okay, this dude, this clown, all right, he thought he was going to hold his franchise hostage, all right, during the offseason a couple years ago. They offered this dude like $78 million or something like that over a
Mm-hmm.
few years.
he was like,
Nah, man,
nah,
I'm a test free agency. You know what he ended up taking? He ended up taking a
15.
$15 million deal. The other deal was off the table. They were like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
you grass is greener on the other side, go get it.
He was the
Go
original
get
Pete
it.
Alonso.
This dude bet on he did the reverse
Dang.
of Aaron Judge, yo. He bet on himself and lost. He crapped
Lost
out.
hard.
Crapped
Yeah,
out,
that's
man.
embarrassing, bro. But
All
The
right.
I
only
think
the only part of
like
go ahead, Peace.
you, the loyalty has to be to the fans, whether you're a
I
player or you're the team. The loyalty is to the
And that's
fans.
and
But
that's who Doncic
every
was.
job you make money. And so it can't just be about bonuses. It can't just be about money. What makes sports different is that element. Like wherever you work, you're loyal. I mean, you work there because you're making money. And we understand that it's a business and they're working there to make money. But when we're talking about loyalty, I mean, your loyalty is more than just money in sports. Your loyalty is to the fans, the ones that are actually footing your bill, the
Yeah.
community that supports you, that cheers you on. You know what I mean? That you're either trying to get hyped up so you could get them to false start on the third down, or you're trying to quiet down so you can make those free throws. It's all about, the people that support you when you on and off the court.
No doubt.
Those are good takes,
I hear
fellas.
you on
Good
that,
takes.
man. Really good takes. Let's for the time's sake, let's move on to topic 2.
All right, let's
All
do
right.
it, man. Throw it up there for me, man. All right, here we go. With legal bets in the U.S. expected to top $1.39 billion for Super Bowl 59, yes, billion with a B, Americans should not be concerned with refs or officials being compromised?
Hmm.
All right, here we go. 1, let's see you, Zeke. 2, 3. All right, what we got? I got 2. Zeke's got 4.
3.
Josh got
Three.
3.
Three.
3's across the board.
Nah,
Nah, I
see,
got
Chris threw up a
Peasy's
four.
got
4.
4. We got to
You got
split
4
Peasy.
pieces.
He's
Yeah, I
got
didn't see
4
you
up
there,
there.
Yeah.
man. My bad. That view is kind of weird. It's little.
He's in some agreement.
All
All
right,
right, go
I'm going
ahead,
first on
Peasy.
this one.
Yeah, go first. Call out.
Go
What
ahead,
was your
Peasy.
number?
I mean, I put a 4 down because I
All right,
agree.
4.
People should not be concerned with the refs being compromised. I mean, at the end of the day, believe me, I'm going to complain about the refs and the Chiefs win again just because I don't want the Chiefs to win. But we see this in every sport, don't we? I mean, when you're betting on boxing, you're betting on, whatever it is. I mean, the job of the referee is to be invisible in
Hmm.
any sport. And that's why, like, even in the NBA, like, they get a little, they don't call the touch fouls as much in the playoffs because the ref is trying to be more and more invisible. And that's what they should be aiming for also in the NFL. If they can't get that, then I shouldn't be talking about the ref when the game is over. I should not be talking about the ref. But inevitably, like in these big moments, you're gonna complain because they were tugging. You could call a flag at every down in the NFL because anything can be construed as holding, pass interference most of the time. But I, I want to believe in the purity of sports, so that's why I picked 4. I don't think we should be concerned about it, although I'll probably speculate afterwards anyway.
All right, Zeke.
Yeah.
What you got, Zeke? Oh, you want to go first, Josh?
Go ahead,
No,
Josh.
no, no. Okay.
Go,
All right.
Josh.
You want me to go? I'll
Go
Yeah.
go.
ahead, Josh.
I gave it a 3, right? And I gave it a 3 because I'm right in the middle. And then Chris brought up a good point of like, the refs, their job is to be invisible out in the field. The problem is they're not invisible. They have striped uniforms and they're
And
like the most
whistles.
obvious people on the field.
Bright
And
yellow
they are literally,
flags.
And
you can
whistles.
watch games, yeah, whistles and flags and all that stuff. It's literally their job to be noticeable.
Right.
And for me, I'm like, I'm looking at it from this perspective of, the question is with the legal bets expected to be 1.39 billion at the Super Bowl, Americans should not be concerned with the refs or officials being compromised. Part of me is like, yeah, no, they shouldn't. They should be concerned with their betting habits and blowing their paychecks on bets that may or may not become true. So it's a problem. But then at the same time, it's like they the refs and the blatant issues that we have seen on the field countless times again, especially when those red Chiefs are on the field and they're getting the ghost 15-yard penalty calls. To me, that's a whole separate thing from sports betting. Even though you may be able to find some ties there, and maybe you could speculate that refs may be getting paid on the side based on some of the betting profits. I think more so, it's just more so an issue where a lot of these refs they're falling subject, they're falling victim to the GOAT mentality, whereas like, oh, Tom Brady's out on the field or Michael Jordan's on the court. Whatever he does is perfect because he's the greatest player, and I'm going to side with him 99% of the time because 99% of the time when he's doing a play, he's doing the right thing. Right? I think that's more so a lot of the issue that we're seeing with these refs on the field is like they're, you can have Patrick Mahomes yelling over the side and the refs and say, "Yo, man, why didn't you make that call?" And then you see a late flag just thrown. It could be almost well into the next play. So I think I gave it a 3 again because I don't think that betting has a whole lot to do with it. You could speculate one way or the other. I just think that refs kind of get the bad side of that.
All right, I'm gonna jump in real quick ahead of you, Zeke. Is that cool?
That's fine with me.
All right, cool. I gave it a 2. I gave it a 2 because I am concerned, and I'll tell you why I'm concerned. I know everybody's waiting. I'm going to tell you.
I'm ready to hear this.
I'm concerned, man, because there's way too much money floating around out there. And everybody says, well, they couldn't possibly do it. They'd be dumb to do it. How dumb could they be to do it when they're the face of this and they're supposed to be, you know, in the shadows and they're supposed to just do their job and not be hurt. So to the point about the refs, if they don't want to be seen, then they should stop wearing the too small shirts after they work out. That clearly right there tells me that they want attention.
Head hockey.
Right? Ed Hockey League started it. So if you're trying to be on the low, why are you doing that? First of all, why are you coming out there like we could read your post through your shirt? All right.
Muscle
So
man.
that's number one. Number two, it's already been done. Tim Donaghy did it in the NBA. And whether or not he was actually betting money or not, he was giving scoops, inside information, all right, to some pretty seedy people, and they were making a lot of money off of it. But he did it, and nobody would have thought under David Stern's watch that the NBA would have a rogue ref go and be affecting games for money. Okay, even though he didn't directly get any money from it allegedly. All right. Then you got this kid that came into the NBA, and I don't even remember this dude's name.
Mm-hmm.
This dude came in the league, a rookie, betting on games, fixing games and stuff, making money and got a lifetime ban. All right. Now he wasn't a ref, all right, but he still was able to manipulate the game. All right. He was able to manipulate the game and make money off of it. And now he's about to go to prison for it. Let's jump over to the MLB. We just heard earlier this week. Chris, do you know that? I'm sorry, not Chris. Zeke, do you know the ref's name
I
that
can
they
look it
just
up
let
real
go?
quick.
They
I
fired
just
him,
had him
man.
up.
He was one of the best umps in. I call him a ref. My bad.
Pat
One of the
Hoberg.
best umps in MLB, and he got fired because he was sharing a betting account with his friend. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so if you're smart enough to know not to do it, why do you do it? So that alone tells me right there, if a major league it takes a long time to go through the minors and make your way up to the majors to become a major league umpire. And he went and risked it all to share a betting account with his friend. Apparently it was his account and he let his friend use it. Why does he have a betting account?
Yeah, that's
Why does
crazy.
the
But
I should.
MLB referee? Why does the ML? I keep saying ref. I keep saying
Uh,
all kind.
we know what you
um,
Why
mean.
does
Whatever.
the MLB umpire?
officials.
Yeah. Why does an umpire have a betting account at
Yeah.
all? Even if he was using it in the off season, that makes absolutely no sense. And so I'm just waiting for one of these NFL referees to show up on the radar as being involved in some kind of scandal because it's way too much money, man. It's
But
way too much money.
I
And
think
that's
we
not
should
even
add.
their full-time job, bro.
I
Yeah,
think we should
exactly.
add, especially as a Christian podcast, that a lot of people struggle with addiction when it comes to gambling.
Yes.
And so, like,
Yes.
we're not here condoning gambling, especially with that 1.4, billion dollars.
Billion.
Um, I think you know every there once was this quote that you should do everything in modesty, including modesty. And to me, I thought that was dope. But I think that's the same thing when it comes to gambling, in that if you're doing it to make the event a little bit more interesting to you, like I bet you they score 2 touchdowns in the second half or something like that, and you're doing that to make the event be a little bit more interesting to you, fine. But if you're betting the kind of money, especially when you see 1.4 billion, there's clearly people that are betting the kind of money that
Big dollars.
is going to hurt households. If someone is cheating, if someone is fixing the games, if it hurts you or damages you enough to the point where you may not be able to pay rent, or you may not be able to make the next bill payment that you got, then you doing too much.
Yeah, that's a
You
problem.
you need to fall back.
Yeah. Let me show you
Absolutely.
how easy it is, man. Let me show you how easy it is to get involved with gambling, and you don't even really know you're getting involved with gambling. All right. So, Josh and Zeke, you both know that I'm heavy into collecting baseball cards, man.
Hmm.
I'm in the hobby, man, and I love it. So there's these things called breaks that you can get into. If you don't want to go buy a box of cards, a whole box of a hobby box of cards, they can cost up, a lot of money. All right.
Sure. Yep.
Um, on the lower level, somebody like me, a box of cards, I buy a box of cards $100 to $150, $200, right?
Hmm.
And you open up the packs, you see what's in there. Hopefully, you get a return on your investment. If you can't afford to go buy your own hobby box, you can get in what's called a break. And a break is where somebody else buys the cards, and what they do is they offer up, they split the break up at the box up in teams. So if it's Major League Baseball, 30 teams, and what they
Hmm.
do is you can buy a team. And then when
Right.
you buy a team for a certain amount of money. The value of the team, the price of the team will be based on the value of the cards that are out that year and what players you could possibly pull.
Hmm.
So you get into a break, you buy into a break, and you're sitting there and you're watching this person open every pack of cards from that break. It's gambling. It's
It is.
gambling because you have no idea what's in the box. You have no idea what's in each pack that they open, right? And so you pay an amount of money to get into a break, and then you sit there and you fiend. You sit
Hmm.
there and you fiend and you wait to see if if your team is going to get pulled, if your player is going to get pulled. It's gambling. It doesn't matter if you pay $5 for a break spot. It doesn't matter if you pay $500. It's still gambling. But you can get caught up in the I'm looking for this particular card. I want that card. I want that card. And then you can go into back to back breaks thinking that you're going to get that card and never get it. Meanwhile, you gambled your money away. It's gambling.
It's
So
true.
even something that simple, man, you can get caught up in that.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
always got to be careful. And
You do.
it's important to evaluate yourself. But that's, I mean, honestly, that's what we should be doing, as Christian brothers anyway, man. We're always evaluating ourselves, making sure that we're in line, and making sure we're not stepping over that line. You know what I mean? Making sure
Yeah.
Indeed.
that,
Most definitely.
we ain't getting too carried away.
Yeah.
Indeed. Indeed.
It's the internal check, man. Check the heart.
No doubt.
If
So
I'm relying on that, that's crazy.
before we jump into our next topic, I want to talk about Coach Prime. I know we don't have a topic lined up, a banner lined up for him, but I want to talk about Coach Prime.
Yeah.
Uh,
Nah. He deserves some props.
yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. So the Colorado Buffs make history. The entire team, okay, the entire team uh, surpasses 3.0 GPA under Coach Prime. Um, this is this is amazing because there's so many people that were have been hating on Coach Prime for the fact that he left Jackson State and he took this
Yep.
job. His trajectory was just always up, man. He wasn't going to stay at Jackson State forever. If anybody knows Prime, Prime is he going to chase the bag, right? He's going to
Hmm.
do Prime things, and he's going to make sure that Prime is going to benefit out of it. But at the end of the day, he is about his kids and his players too.
Absolutely.
He's a great person. A few weeks ago, there was an organization calling for him to be shut down because they said that because he has prayer in his team meetings, and he
Yep.
said the organization said that he was influencing these kids to possibly follow God, which is completely ridiculous. He was influencing them and pressuring them to follow God. And I don't know. You guys know how I feel about it. I love Prime, man. I think Prime is he is I follow Prime since college, since FSU.
Yeah.
And he's an amazing athlete. He's a great person. He's very flashy. What you see is what you get.
Of course.
But at the end of the day, man, he's all about his kids. He's all about his players. He's all about that school and that community. Um,
Family oriented.
yeah, and he has actually a show, a vlog where you can follow his journey from Jackson State um, all the way to current. And so, fellas, what do you guys think about this thing
You
with
know,
Prime?
when you were talking about that, and you were talking about the organization that wanted to shut him down because of the prayer time in the locker room, and he was promoting, chapel time as well. I was reading in that article. I saw the same one,
Yeah,
and it's kind of hypocritical for them to even insinuate, right? Of course, the prayer is there to uh, both engage students that already come into the team with Christian morals, but also too, why would we not? If Prime is a believer or at least he believes in God, why would he not do the things that made him successful as well, right? And so the point I'm trying to point out here is this organization is so quick to knock truth, knock light, that they will overlook the dark things that are happening, the parties that are happening at the frats, or the um, the media that is trying to persuade a specific image or a specific look on these students, on these athletes coming up. All right, and so for me, it's very hypocritical for them to only pinpoint at these prayer times, these Christian principles, and not point out other major issues, right? Or even like NIL deals for that matter, right? Showing how, throwing money in these, maybe some of these kids came from impoverished areas. Now you throw a ton of dollars at them, what good is that if they don't know how to,
right.
utilize the tool? What good is that? It's only going to put them in positions. And how many famous, athletes or famous stars have we heard of that ran into money and now today have major issues?
Absolutely, Josh. I would say like Deion Sanders is doing it the right way. Like he's
Yeah,
putting these kids above and not making them just a number, actually caring about the kid themselves and about their well-being. Because a small percentage of even his squad will probably make it to the NFL, and even if they do make it to the NFL, a very small percentage sticks. Like it's crazy when you think about like the people that get drafted, even in the NFL draft, the percentage of them that actually even play one season it's wild, and play two
yeah,
seasons, right? Is even less. And so, like, they have to start thinking about what they're going to do after sports. And that's why we love sports, right? I mean, sports, there's so many life lessons that you can learn from sports. And I think
most definitely.
Deion Sanders is embracing that, and he's trying to impart his knowledge and his wisdom into these kids. But,
Hmm.
I can only talk for myself as a kid that was playing baseball and took that very seriously growing up. You know what I mean? It gave me an excuse to get away from peer pressure. I'm sorry, I can't take drugs. I won't be as fast or be able to
Yeah,
have the wind on the base pass. I can't drink because shoot, I gotta make sure that I'm able to be there for my teammates. And so these are the
sure,
things that we love about sports because it teaches valuable life lessons. And I think Deion Sanders is doing a great job of imparting that.
absolutely.
Seek, what you got,
So
man?
I commend Prime because I mean, yeah, like Dave said, he's flashy. We see the highlights of him high stepping and skipping down the sideline after making an interception or whatever, and we see all of that. But before anything, Prime is a father. Prime is a
Yeah,
parent, and it wasn't just about Shiloh and Shador. Um, and I mean, even Travis. Um, it didn't matter if you were the starting quarterback or the long snapper or the backup punter. He was going to make sure that I know when I was a kid playing sports, my mother was like, "Yo, your grades better be right or you're not playing." The standard for the city school district was a 2.0. My mom said 3.0, and she meant it. I remember I came home with a 2.89, and she made me sit a game, and my teammates hated me for it, and it never happened again.
it's a good
So
mom.
Prime, whatever. Um, yeah, I love you, mom. But yeah,
Good
Prime,
rebound, good rebound, good rebound.
Prime is just showing that it's not just about football. He's been a part of the machine. He sees how it goes. He's seen top athletes stumble, like you guys mentioned earlier. You make all this money, and if you don't have the literacy, that money can go just as easy as it came. And he
ruin you.
sees he was on FSU with top players who never made it to the NFL. They had to figure out what to do with life after football. So I commend him for putting them above the program and saying, "Hey, I want y'all to be dogs and leaders on the field, but I want y'all to be dogs and leaders in the classroom as well." So props to
Absolutely.
Prime.
Much respect, Prime.
No doubt, fellas. All right, that was a great segment, man. All right, here we go. So the time has come. We are at our final topic here. Topic number 3. All right. Let's see what we got here. The polo ponies. Let's go.
Polo
All
Polo
right.
ponies.
ponies.
Genetic enhancements creeping into the sports world. Uh-oh, what happened? Did we lose it? We lost it. Here we go. Here we go. Genetic enhancements creeping into the sports world create a disadvantage to aspiring athletes. All right, let's go. Let's count it down. 3, 2, 1.
Oh,
Too
clean sweep.
easy.
Ooh,
5 across the
Too
Come
board.
on now,
all the
that
way
was
easy,
too
across.
easy.
man. Hey,
We
All
man.
need
right,
someone
Josh.
to disagree.
Josh, you brought this topic to our attention, so brother,
Yes,
I'm gonna let
sir.
you. I'm gonna let you run with it first.
You're
Okay.
gonna be the
I'm
only one
taking.
talking about
I'm
horses, I
taking.
promise you.
Listen, man. Hey, you know what? It's all good. Call me the Pony Man. So listen. The only reason I brought this up, and I thought it was a decent topic to discuss because I'm not sure how many sports casts are talking about this. So much respect to us here at the Opps Cast. So what I'm thinking here is I was reading an article about the Argentinian. Man, we just lost Chris. I'm
He'll be
thinking
back.
about yeah, he'll be back. I'm thinking about I saw an article on the Argentinian polo group that was taking DNA from a prime uh, breed in the polo world, and they were implanting that DNA genetically
A genome,
into
right?
a genome, yeah, exactly, into cells of an embryo, I guess, or whatever the horse egg
Right.
is, right? And then they were breeding these horses genetically for to give them the features, the muscle structure, the bone density, the DNA of these great horses, right? And for me, I just looked at it from the perspective of, man, where are we going? As a society, for one, where we're genetically enhancing horses so that they can be prime exhibits of perfection in a sport, but also too, I looked at it from the opposite perspective of um, the transgender world, and how some of them have taken genetically enhanced medicines that change their hormones, where it may give them more uh, testosterone or more estrogen, for that
Right.
matter, and they can fit into that gender sport. And for me, I just look at it from a heart thing, man. Like, we really, as a people, have a heart problem, and we are constantly trying to find ways to fit into this structure of what we deem as perfect, right? And
You know what we're
we're
doing?
essentially trying. We're essentially taking on that God theory. We're
That's what it
trying to
is,
be
Josh.
God,
That's it.
right? And that's my problem with it. And I gave this a 5, just because absolutely it disadvantages the inspiring athletes. It disadvantages that kid who grew up watching Prime, run and truck these dudes, and he got a love for the game. And from there, he worked his butt off to work himself into Colorado State University, and maybe he gets out rostered by some individual who genetically modified themselves to make themselves the prime athlete.
Yeah, so let me jump in real quick. So I gave it a 5. Everybody gave it a 5, right?
Yeah.
So it's literally playing God, man. It really
Yep.
is. That's the gist of it. And I don't know what this fascination is. First it was the cloning, right? Uh,
Yes.
they want to clone, and but the cloning part. So listen, I don't condone any of it.
No.
The cloning piece was like, all right, we trying to make a mirror image, of whatever, a
Right.
sheep, a pig, what have you, right? These people, are diabolical with it. I mean, they are literally slicing and dicing specific parts of the genome
Mm-hmm.
and trying to have a direct effect on different parts of the anatomy of these ponies that will be born. So
Yep.
just think about this, right? They're talking about, they want to be able to have these ponies grow up and have an advantage, right? You keep doing this, all you're gonna have is everybody's gonna have genetically enhanced ponies. So
Yes.
the playing field will just be level with these cyborg type ponies, and
Lab
then
created ponies.
right, and then what do you do from there? It's insane. So I just think about like um like when I was growing up, $6 Million Man was one of my favorite shows, man. Like favorite. I used to have all the $6 Million toys and stuff. But literally that's what it was. They were trying to save Steve Austin's life, you know what I'm saying? And put him back together so he could live, and they turned him into an experiment. He was the only one, but these people are like they like $6 Million Man and all over the place with this, man. It's ridiculous. It's completely ridiculous. Where does it stop? I can't even
Yeah.
believe we're talking about this, Josh.
Nuts. It's
You
insane,
took the
right?
Josh's
words from my
idea.
mouth, man. I
It's
I'm sitting here
insane,
listening to
bro.
this conversation like we really
Yo,
talking about
We talking about some
this, and
polo
it all
we
started
talking about
with
ponies,
Argentinian ponies.
Talk about ponies.
ponies, bro.
about
I
ponies,
Zeke
mean,
man.
is too done. Look at him, man.
Come on,
I,
Zeke. Give us your take.
listen. I mean, if
Zeke, the world wants to know what you think of polo ponies.
look, as far as the topic goes, I mean, yeah, I think that was a given. Like, um, to be honest, I couldn't care less about the polo ponies. If we're gonna do it across the board, it's kind of like the argument that a lot of people had with the steroid era. Like, if
Mm-hmm.
everybody was doing it, like, okay, yeah, they say Barry Bonds was juicing, but Roger Clemens was juicing too. So pitchers and hitters juicing all over the place. Let everybody juice. It saved baseball. Um, if it's gonna be done in a situation with Josh's polo ponies where they're breeding this population of horses for the sake of playing polo, if all of them are enhanced, then there's really no disadvantage. But like he also alluded to with like the swimmer, I'm not gonna say the name because I don't want to give them that kind of airtime, but you got the transgender swimmer who couldn't cut it against the men, so hey, I want to be a woman now, and still got whooped. Um, I mean it when you sometimes you just gotta take that L and say this ain't for me. If you can't cut it against the gender that you were born into, like say all of a sudden LeBron James loses his luster and
Mm.
all of a sudden he wants to go dominate the WNBA because he still wants to play ball, but he just can't cut it in NBA. They gonna let that happen? because this is what he
Right.
identifies as now.
Well, I got
Uh,
good news, Z. Not
what?
anymore. Because our boy Trump signed today an executive order banning transgenders in sports. And that is breaking
Did you
news
say
today.
our boy?
Oh, my bad, your boy.
Nah, fam. No, we're not gonna do this. We gonna keep this. We're gonna keep this 100% sports. We're not
Keep
venturing
it,
into that world.
Oh, okay.
keep
All
it
right,
at
but
the
All
ponies.
right,
that
All
is
right.
real life. I mean, since we brought up the transgender topic in sports, that actually did happen today. He signed an executive order on that. But
Mm.
listen, I just want to make it perfectly clear for the audience out there. They asked me if they could borrow my genome to help, edit them and to make them even more faster. And I told them no. I
Oh
told
my.
them no. I was there like, listen, brother, like,
Oh,
nah. You know what I mean? I'm just throwing it out there, man.
where's the stand
you
man when you need
dog.
him? Play him off the stage. Play him off the stage, Sam.
Get me my
I'm gonna
music.
play him off right now, man. All right, fellas, we're gonna get up out of here soon. One thing that I really wanted to do, we were talking about the loyalty and things like that in sports, and before we cut out, we were talking about the comment that Dennis Schroeder made
Mm.
about it felt like slavery all over again, and
Yeah.
this young man is making millions of dollars, okay, running around in shorts and a tank top, entertaining people, okay.
Hmm.
And I just wanted to share this before we left. Um, like I'm a huge baseball fan, man, and I'm also big on the history of the game. And I want to before we leave, I want to give a shout out to this man right here. This man, Kurt Flood. I don't know if you guys can see this. It's one of my Kurt Flood cards. Just one of
Okay.
my favorite baseball cards, man. For those of you who don't know who Kurt Flood is, um, Kurt Flood brought about a rule in baseball called the 10-5 rule.
Mm.
And it's known as the Kurt Flood rule. And it's a rule that states that when a player has played for a team for 5 straight years and he's played in the MLB for 10 years, the player has to give the club consent for him to be traded. All right.
Wow.
Kurt Flood single handedly ushered in free agency. Dennis Schroeder owes a huge debt to Kurt Flood for the fact that he's able to turn down a $78 million deal and have to settle for 15 million. Okay.
Mm.
So he's settling for 15 million when the kind of statement he makes, and forgive me if I'm overly passionate about this, but it's a game, man. These dudes are getting paid to play a game, man. You know what
Child's
I mean?
dream.
That's it, bro. So Kurt Flood, shout out to Kurt Flood, man. Kurt Flood once. This is now Zeke. Zeke can rock with this, and you too, Peasy. But you know how hard it is to win a Gold Glove in the MLB. These days is a little weird, but back in the day, I would say up until like maybe the last 5 or 6 years, it was hard to really win a Gold Glove, right? Kurt Flood won 7 consecutive Gold Gloves, okay,
Wow.
while playing as an outfielder for the St. Louis Cardinals. Right? He played for them from 63 to 69. He was a 3-time All-Star and a key player for the Cardinals from 64 in 1967, with both being championship teams. So when you hear a person like Dennis Schroeder talking about um, being traded and not being told is like slavery, think of Kurt
Hmm.
Flood. Because of Kurt Flood, he's able to even make such a ridiculous statement like that and be forgiven for for even making a claim like that. It's just completely ridiculous. So
Appreciate
shout out
that,
to
Dave.
Kurt Flood, and
Hey, it's a Black
I just wanted
History
to end
Month
it on a
spotlight.
positive note. Would you say,
So that's
Peasy?
what's up. I said it's a Black History Month spotlight right there. So we appreciate that insight, Dave. Quick question. Do we even give Dennis
I'm about to
Schroeder
mute him. I'm about to
permission.
mute. He about to say something about the Met. I know he
No,
is.
I'm
I'm gonna
not.
mute.
I'm saying no, I wasn't though. I was gonna say, like, do we even give this man permission? What does this dude know about slavery? Ain't he from Germany?
I don't know,
Yeah,
man.
something like that. And
Uh,
he's married to a
He's
white woman.
German.
Look at Josh.
dang, Josh.
Josh,
My
yo.
bad. My
Josh went for
bad,
the
bro.
knees, didn't he?
Straight
Right.
down.
Josh,
I'm
you
gonna
went for
chop
the
him right
knees,
at the
bro.
bottom, bro.
Yo, man.
Talking about modern day slavery. You married to a white lady.
Before we get out of here, we can't end on that note, Josh. I got a couple shout outs if y'all don't mind.
Hit it, man. Do it.
Um we're very football and basketball and baseball heavy, but I want to give a shout out to Alex Ovechkin. He is currently
Yeah.
sitting at 878 goals. He is very close to breaking Wayne Gretzky's all-time goal record of
Mm-hmm.
894 goals.
Yep.
So, yeah, this is the dude that he's one of those dudes that like you didn't really like him because he was on the other team. I was a Sidney Crosby fan when him and Sidney came in, but you can't help but respect Ovechkin and uh his contribution to the game. He's been going at it for a very long time at a very high level. So shout out to Ovi. I'm gonna be giving y'all some updates until he breaks it. Hopefully he breaks it soon because I really don't want to pay too much attention to hockey. But yeah, and
Oh,
rest in peace to Tita Woods. Tiger Woods' mom died a couple days ago, and for those of y'all who don't know, I watch golf because when I was growing up, Tiger Woods came into the game and changed the world. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
he gave me somebody who kind of looked like me, um, in a field where um, we were barely able to be caddies. He came in and turned the game upside down and changed the game for the better. So she's somebody who's um, in a roundabout way kind of been in my life because I've seen her on TV watching him uh do his thing. So um yeah, rest in peace, Tita Woods.
Time for the Woods family.
And
Prayers and
yeah,
thoughts.
prayers and thoughts for Tiger and his kids and the rest of his family.
no doubt. No doubt.
Can we end on a lighter note?
Yeah, I'm
No,
about to end it
you
right
can
now.
end
I'm
right. Yo, who's got the button? Shut
about
it
to
down.
get up out of here.
Shut it down. He
I'm
about
about
to
to
say
mute
something
him.
about
Listen,
Pete
Put him off
Alonso.
the stage.
Yay, Pete
Let's
Alonso
listen,
came back to the Mets.
let's
Woohoo.
listen.
Nah,
Third
man.
place in the
All I'm gonna
division.
It's a
say
wrap.
is, I mean, we were talking about Dennis Schroeder, and Dennis Schroeder famously fumbled the bag. And I just want to tell everybody, scripture, man, you store your riches in heaven, right?
Amen.
Yeah.
You store your riches in heaven. Don't be like Pete Alonso that had a
Oh my God.
$150 million
Get
offer
him out of
over
here.
5
Gosh,
years,
cue that
and he
music,
settled
man.
for a 2 year,
Look,
$54 million
you
offer.
got your
My
polar
goodness,
bear
that's
back.
humbling
Be
the bag.
happy.
God, store your
Yo,
riches in heaven.
we
That's all I
out of
got to say
here,
about that.
man.
Store your
Yo, I
riches in
want to thank
heaven.
everybody for
Amen.
joining us on our very
Can we
first
edit that out?
episode. We had a blast. My man Todd, Big Q, my man Peasy, all of the fans, everybody watching, everybody listening. We appreciate you guys. We'll catch up with you next week. God bless.
Peace.
Peace.